The only hidden gem that should be in your collection is Final Fantasy VII. This never before heard of.
This remake too, it's so underrated. Everyone thinks of the original, but this remake
it makes the original irrelevant. You don't even need it anymore. Forget it.
The hidden gem on the PS5 that no one ever talks about is Astrobot. Incredibly
JRPG of the year.
it's hidden because
underrated.
they had, Astro's Playroom. They all know that one, but Astrobot, no, they don't know that one.
It's
not
basically
included.
a secret game. You know how artists will put on secret shows where they just like show up and nobody knows about it? It's basically the same thing.
Hi there, and welcome to the JRPG Pursuit, a podcast for all things JRPGs. I'm Emily.
I'm Branden.
I'm maybe Dallah.
And today, maybes, we are talking about underrated JRPGs. You guys probably all know all of them, right? By now? This is a very common topic on YouTube and other content platforms. But today, we want to talk about all of the underrated, underappreciated ones that never, ever get talked about. Such as... Such as...
I feel
Hit me.
Like
right
Final Fantasy VII. No. Harvestella. No.
Harvestella.
Honestly, if I were to pick one, it's got to be Resident Evil 3. That's it.
Because that's
a good one.
Just the third one.
So,
Everything
the
else.
most underrated JRPG out there. It's not on any JRPG list. I can guarantee.
You will not. I promise you will not see that. And you do. People are going to get weird in the comments. You do play a role in that game. You play. Is it Jill? Is that who you play as in 3? Yeah, you play
Jill is an option.
Jill Sandwich is her name. And she's fighting a big old guy, and that's a role playing game, guys. And it's from Japan. It's made in Japan, that makes it a JRPG. Okay,
there you go. We're done.
Thank you. All right, signing off.
Mic drop.
Peace out.
That's it for the video. There's no other underrated JRPG you need to know other than Resident Evil 3, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Don't look at the remaining time on the video. We're done. Peace out.
We're done.
Bye, everybody. It's been a pleasure.
But as many of you know, if you are watching this when this is uploaded, it's April Fool's Day. That's why we decided to do this. It's not that funny. But
that was dumb. That was dumb.
That was like the dumbest April Fools. Branden is like the master at April Fools because he actually does something annually. You say that. So I was probably the worst one to actually be the host.
It's really my wife. I don't do anything.
That's true. You let her do it. That's true.
She shows up and does it.
You edit it.
I do edit it. Yeah,
he does. And go check out Branden's video right now.
Oh yeah, my April Fool's video should be up.
Yeah. So
Jen
please go check that out.
Dallah and myself.
There's a podcast shout out in the video, so you might want to see that.
Shut down or shut out?
We'll see what she has to say.
I have no idea.
As Branden.
As me.
As Branden.
Yeah.
So basically, it's an unfiltered Branden, is what you'll be hearing.
Yeah.
Yes. She drops a lot of curses, so beware.
She's just, like a sailor.
Sailor.
You had to beep out a lot, right, Branden, when you're editing? It's
ridiculous, yeah. You almost can't understand a word she's saying. But you wouldn't be able to anyway, because it's just a string of uninterrupted curses.
Basically.
But in all seriousness, putting aside our foolish ways, we did want to talk about underrated, underappreciated JRPGs. And we really did try to think outside of the usual suspects, right? You see a lot of lists where, and no shade, I've done lists like this myself, with games like Radiant Historia. In my case, Harvestella, Crystar, these games that I talk about all the time, and I feel like I've seen other people talk about. So the games that we're trying to bring are not necessarily games that nobody has talked about, because there's a lot of people talking on the internet. Chances are it's been talked about by somebody.
By someone. There's fandoms for all things.
Yeah, but it's not at the level of exposure that a lot of these other games that show up repeatedly on these lists get. So that's our goal. Hopefully we achieve it and give you some games that we can recommend as being, off the beaten path, but still really good.
Yeah, and I think one of my struggles too from pulling lists is because, of course, we've all heard of the hidden gems videos that everyone does, and you do see a lot of repeats. But also, I've bought a lot of games that I thought might be a hidden gem, but I've not actually gone and played them. Like, I think it's hard to sometimes test out some of these games that don't have a lot of discussion around them, because you don't really know what you're getting yourself into. So I have a hesitancy. Like, I like to buy them and say one day I would like to play you and try you to see if you're actually good. But carving out the time, especially when you already hear about so many other games that is in your library that have an overwhelmingly number of people vouching for them, it's hard to sometimes fit in some of the lesser known ones. At least for my case.
I definitely noticed that myself walking around my room, pulling out the games that I wanted to talk about. It's like, wow, a good quarter, maybe more, of these games are smaller, less talked about games certainly that I've probably never seen, but maybe one time on one of those lists.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I bought it, because I saw somebody say it was a hidden gem. I watched a Metal Jesus video where he said he did a hidden gem, and I was like, oh boy, we're going to buy it. We're going to buy that game.
Before it's become so obscure and expensive, right? That's also the idea. That was popular for a time.
Yeah, he's going to drive up the cost, and then if it's going to be unobtainable, so I better get it right now.
Hurry up.
Maybe that was true at one time. I don't think it's so much true anymore. But
I don't think but we're in the age of reprints, and also I feel like a lot of things are coming to ports and remasters, and I feel like if you wait long enough, you're going to be able to experience it somehow, if not physically, maybe at least through emulation or something.
Yeah.
So I personally try to quell that desire to pick up all the shiny things in my dragon layer.
Yeah, I've largely stopped the purchasing of games sight unseen that I think are going to be potential hidden gems. And I'm not that I will never do it again, just that I will do it when I'm like, I want to play this game right now,
Yeah.
So, but all of the games, at least I can speak for myself, all of the games that I picked out just because I thought they looked hidden gem-y. I don't know that I necessarily even saw a video about the three that I picked out. A video that I didn't see a video about any of these, but I just thought, that looks like it could be in my wheelhouse, maybe.
Yeah.
And fortunately,
you tried it?
Yes. Unfortunately, I was right for all three of these. There were many more that I missed on, though, so we're not talking about those today.
We're not talking about the duds.
But I'm not batting 400 is what I'm not, or betting 400. No, 1,000. What's a good batting average, Dallah? You're wearing a baseball cap.
Yeah, baseball knowledge, right?
Don't come at me with that kind of stuff.
I don't understand those statistics.
I thought it was a percentage.
Yeah, whatever it is. I'm not batting a good number of it.
But it's like I think it's like 300.
Okay.
Or something.
Okay, we'll take your word for this.
Correct us in the comments if we're wrong. Anyway,
it's not my sport. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No sport is my sport.
Yeah, we've kind of thought out of the box, and we also told Branden that he can't talk about Harvestella today.
I said you could say in the beginning. We did.
Yeah, we did.
It's been said. It's been covered.
It's been said. Like if we had a list of honorable mentions, I would say like Harvestella and Crystar are two games that I think still need more love, even though I feel
Radiant Historia always.
Radiant Historia always.
They're a great game.
Yeah, I have a lot of honorable mentions, like Eternal Sonata, which I think gets a decent amount of love, but still I want it enough so that we can actually get a port of that at some point.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Radiata Stories.
Radiata,
Rogue Galaxy for the PS2. There's lots of good stuff out there that I think
I pulled this one out. This probably should just be a mention, but Alliance Alive. I love this game.
Alliance Alive.
I do feel like a lot more people are exposed to because of the HD remaster
HD
they did.
Yeah, I was very surprised that they did that, and I was glad.
I was really glad because
definitely deserves more attention.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to?
Is that enough?
Who wants to try enough an intro of we're trying to pick out some games that don't get as much traction. However, we have tested them; they are good. And if anyone's interested in trying something new, that's not from your typical development cycles that we all usually know what we're getting into when we play those games, right? These are a little bit off the beaten path. Dallah, you go first.
Oh my gosh. Coming at me. Okay, no. Yes. So I'm going to be taking it from maybe some of the older games, I think. So a lot of these games might not be available to purchase right off the bat. I mean, it's something that you probably have to find on eBay or, through emulation or even patches, like if there's out there people making language patches for these games. So the first game I want to talk about is something called Popolocrois. And for me, it was something I've always heard the name for the longest time. Like it's something that always comes up in, I think, casually in some like spaces on the internet where you can see like Popolocrois is brought up. It was popular, I think, in Japan. We didn't really get much here until I think, what was it, the PSP, Branden?
That was the first time I remember seeing it.
Okay. Yeah. So initially, I think there was like the PS1 version. And so there is a fan translated version of the PS1 game. And I did a video a while back on, fan translated games. And so I played quite a few hours of this game. And honestly, I don't know why it doesn't get enough love. It's got this very storybook aesthetic. It's very much, it feels like, you're reading like a kid's like fantasy story.
Mm-hmm. Like Grimm's fairy tales or something.
Exactly.
But
it's
less
like
dark.
a very
it's less twisted. It goes.
It's not twisted.
It gets dark. So like I would say like it's grimmy. It's grim fairy tale like where it's like it has this like, I don't know. I wouldn't say, I can't tell if it's like watercolory, but it's like very much this like fantastical look to it. It looks colorful. It's nice. The sprites all look really incredible and the backgrounds look really nice. But then there's like kind of wrapped in this like a bit of a darker story. So you're like this boy who is kind of just like this, he's kind-hearted. He's relaxed. He's just like a good kid. And his mom has been in a coma for basically, and he kind of ends up, going on this big adventure basically, to save his mom and also protect the kingdom from this like darkness. So there's this like overarching darkness, this, it's JRPG. So there's always going to be some darkness that you have to go on a quest to defeat. And especially in fantasy kind of, stories and that all. Yeah. But it's the characters. I think the characters are all very interesting. And the story kind of like, I didn't beat it yet. So, don't hate me. But I will beat it because I think it's something I really want to play. But it has a lot to do with like sacrifice, family sacrifice. Like it's very, it's structured in a very interesting way, like almost like chapters, like a book. It's very much like a storyteller. So like it's kind of episodic or chapter like. But yeah, so like that game itself doesn't really get talked about, and we haven't seen a Popolocrois game come out.
The most recent one was the collab with Story Seasons on the 3DS.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. But we haven't seen like a standalone Popolocrois game or
no. Who was the developer of that? Do you know
who was this? Let me remind myself.
If only I knew.
If only you knew.
You think I would like look these things up? I'm good at things.
Epic's G Artists, Sony Interactive Entertainment, Japan Studio.
Oh,
okay.
Interesting.
It's owned by Sony, so it's technically a first party, I guess. At least.
So did they close down when Sony Japan basically shut down their studios?
Wouldn't shock me.
So Epic's.
So maybe that's why we haven't seen anymore.
Yeah,
they've worked on a lot of things. Actually, they've worked on Pa Rappa the Rappa, Ape Escape, Racing.
Okay, that's why.
And a bunch of things back in the day, but they haven't really done anything since.
I think Sony closed their studio down.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate. But there was a return to Popolocrois that did come out in the US. I didn't know that. So I'm not even.
Yeah, the Story Seasons. It's more of a farming game.
Yeah, it's not a.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's a Story Seasons with some Popolocrois in it. It's if you want like a very lighthearted, easy like little adventure where there's some farming. It's like a light Rune Factory is how I describe it. Light.
Yeah.
Like action's very light, very easy. The storytelling very relaxed.
Doesn't sound like my kind of thing, but it's okay.
But it's a little bit different, I think, from the PSP version of Popolocrois.
Oh,
Brandon's holding up the 3DS. You see the little sub thing, Story of Seasons, but it's mostly a Story of Seasons, I think.
Yeah, a Story of Seasons fairy tale.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's the art style too. Like they did it's a pretty decent rendition of the kind of the general art style. I think you're right that like, and maybe you were implying this, I don't know, but the sort of presentation simultaneously gives it its charm, but also probably keeps it underrated. Like keeps it underappreciated.
Yeah.
Just because I think a lot of people would look at it and be like, oh, that's not going to be for me. That looks like a little
kid's game.
Baby game for babies. And I don't want to play that.
Yeah.
But sometimes baby games for babies are actually grown-up games for grown-ups. So there's a life lesson for you.
It's like what you would get from playing, let's say, Ni no Kuni. Like it's or like a lot of cell shaded, like, stylistic games. Like it might look like a children's cartoon. It might give off that vibe, but there's a darkness underneath that. So
yeah.
Childhood is full of darkness.
Darkness.
All the darkness.
Enveloping me.
Don't forget it.
Exactly. So, who's next?
All right,
Emily.
I'll do it.
Oh man. Okay.
The first one I'll talk about is, I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I've ever brought this game up on this show before. Maybe I have.
We talked about it, I think, during the PS4 games.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Zanki Zero from Spike Chunsoft. This is, how do I explain this game? It's sort of a visual novel meets dungeon crawler with survival elements.
Yes, island survival.
Island survival. It's deeply weird. The thing I like about it is not so much the survival dungeon crawling gameplay. I liked the story. The character is very weird, very interesting. It's a game that allows you to experience it how you want to. All right. So it's like primarily from a first person perspective, you're walking around dungeons or your kind of town, homestead, island environment. And if you are playing the game, I guess, quote unquote, as intended, right, on normal mode, you want to build your little community up with amenities to power your team up so that when you go out on dungeon crawls, you have the resources you need to be able to survive. And there's a whole bunch of like challenging things that happen out in the field. So traps and battles and things, first person turn-based kind of combat. I didn't do any of that. I said, no, thank you.
So you are recommending a visual novel to us.
Yeah, like there's still combat technically. You still fight, but it's not a challenge. You can turn
if you want to do
off.
Fighting, you can, but you can also opt not to.
Well, you still technically have to do the fights, but they're super easy if you turn the difficulty down. So yeah, I mean, I think that for people that are into a sort of survival, kind of almost roguelite, like the idea, I don't know if that's quite the description for it, but the idea is that these are people who are born and then they age through to old age, adulthood within a very short period of time. I forget exactly how long it is, 12 days, 14 days, something like that. So they have a super accelerated lifespan. And then when they die, they get reborn as a baby again. And then they go through it all one more time.
So it's like Xenoblade.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're like constantly...
Spoil which one it is.
Yeah, so you're like constantly going through this with your characters. And so part of your management involves like making sure the characters you want to work with are like at a good fighting age. Like if they're little kids, they're not going to be much help. If they're old, they're not going to be much help. So you want to get them right in the prime of their life, like me. You want them to be me. The prime of my life right here. All right.
Yeah, look at
prime of my life.
Look at that.
Look at this guy. Look at this specimen. Yeah, so it's very cool. It's a very cool concept. If I was a braver man, I would have just tried it, played it for real.
The dungeon crawling bits.
Yeah, but I enjoyed
and
actually.
Also, you had to tell your characters to go to the bathroom, right?
Yeah, you have to make sure they have toilets, and
it's like Sims almost.
Yeah. Except I don't think you can lock them in there and take away the doors until they starve to death. I know, it's a bummer.
That's disappointing.
But yeah, even without the combat or minimizing the combat, I still really enjoyed it as a weird kind of Danganronpa-esque visual novel, weird story. Like you're not trying to kill each other. It's not Danganronpa-esque in that way, but that kind of just weird,
but a wacky story that might appeal to JRPG fans.
Yeah. So that's my first recommendation. I think it's grossly underrated and under talked about. For as weird as it is, I think more people would want to at least try it. So try it.
I know I'm going to try it. I have not played it yet. So
you haven't? Okay. You should.
I want to try it.
I have it on my shelf too. I haven't played it yet. But I wanted to go back to the Nintendo DS because I feel like with how big that library is, there are some JRPGs that were definitely overlooked, myself included. I overlooked many. You keep hearing all the Atlas DS games that get brought up saying like these are the best JRPGs ever. But I decided to not recommend those. And instead, I'm not recommending. It's a franchise in Japan, but I think we only got this one, and that is Magical Starsign.
Oh yeah,
the Nintendo DS. And this is an interesting think like Magic School Bus, but you have a sci-fi twist where you hop different planets, and you're trying to rescue your teacher. And I really like how they utilize the dual screen because on the DS, at least the early DS games, I feel like they did a good job at trying to utilize the dual screen where they also have, a lot of the game on both. And so they kind of form one picture together. Yeah. I always thought that was really neat.
Yeah.
But it also has, interesting twist on turn-based combat where you have a front and back row of multiple characters often, but you have this solar system that helps align with how you conduct your magic. And so it's actually a very easy game, but has some complex intricacies that you could really take advantage of. And just visually, it was really interesting. And a little bit zany with some of the characters and how they had to hop different planets to go find and rescue their teacher. But I do feel like this is definitely a franchise, of course, and also just a game that doesn't get talked too much about, and it's not that expensive. It's not one of those, I feel like, exactly. There's a lot of
everybody's got Magical Starsign
games. They shoot up in price. What are some examples? Luminous Arc, that. Or what as it was called, right?
There were two of them, the strategy games,
exactly. And then the studio closed down, right? But those ones are always talked about, I feel like, as the hidden gem you should play on the DS, and those are really expensive. Also, Etrian Odyssey 2, was it, that never got the 3DS Untold version? It was 2 or 4, one of those. 3.
There's 1 and 2 Untold on 3DS.
Okay, so maybe number 3 is the one that never got the 3DS version. So that one's always talked about, very expensive. This one, you could find this fairly easily, and I think it's easy to pick up and play. If you just want a nice little magical time. It's like a little magical adventure.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I believe these were from Square Enix devs who worked on the Mana games. And so some of the key art and stuff kind of, I would say, is reminiscent.
I can see that,
It did always remind me, at least the character designs, very Mana-esque.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's one that's been on my shelf for a long time. I feel like it was one of the first games that I bought that wasn't part of my original collection that I was rebuilding when I started collecting. So because it was hey, it's a JRPG and it's not that expensive. So
yeah.
But it's not a comparison to it's just a cheap Chrono Trigger one without time travel. But I don't think that's a negative to it, personally. Yeah. I think they did some really innovative things. It's just an easy game, so don't go in expecting it's going to be challenging. But it's just a nice little romp, I would say.
I love me a romp.
Nice little romp. I feel like people who enjoy the Rhapsody games would like these. I've not played the Rhapsody games, so another shout out to an underappreciated series that have had remasters on modern systems.
I bet you Rhapsody fans on the original PS1 never thought that we would be getting the other two games 20 years later.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I still need to play them.
Me too.
I guess we'll go around again. Dallah, give us another one.
Okay. So for mine, I'm going to go to the Xbox 360 because I'm going to be weird like that.
Weird. I feel like JRPG fans just didn't buy that system because there are not that many games that maybe interested them at the time.
Exactly. And so for me, this, I feel like there's one game that always gets talked about when you think about JRPGs on the 360. It's always Lost Odyssey.
Always.
I mean, everybody's asking
the Final
for that.
Fantasy that could.
Exactly, like the true sequel to Final Fantasy. But oddly enough, before that game came out, there was a game that Miss Walker made. The first game that studio actually made, and that was Blue Dragon. And so Blue Dragon, I know there is talk about it because it does exist, and they can do backwards compatibility, I think, on the Xbox.
And also the art, the person who made the art
Akira
is very
Toriyama.
famous. Akira Toriyama, so...
But
I feel like there was a bit of a surge after his passing away.
Yeah.
But I think, definitely one that should be talked about more.
Yeah, only for the fact that, like, okay, so we all want Lost Odyssey to also have a port to PC or anywhere.
It may or may happen with Project Helix.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens. At the same time, it would be nice for that same situation to happen with Blue Dragon. I want that to be an equal opportunity situation where you get like some great Akira Toriyama art, and the game is like whimsical. It's very like, it's not very hard. It's not very deep. It's just a fun, fantastical romp that you go on. It's got very simple battle system. You do have like kind of a job system within the game that involves the shadows that you have. So, you can assign certain shadows to different characters, and those shadows kind of fall along the job system that you would expect from, these games as in terms of mages and whatnot. And you got Nobuo Uematsu doing the soundtrack. So, that's going to be incredible. But all around, I feel like it's a game that I feel needs more love, just so that way Xbox and, Mistwalker hears it. Sakaguchi, even though he has no care in the world in terms of
no care in the world
bringing these older Mistwalker games to other systems right now.
Would he consider making a new Blue Dragon game, or is that like not a possibility anymore?
He's never said no. It's always possible that he'll do it. I mean, there are the 2DS games that they made. Oh, no, the 3DS. 3DS games.
And 3DS.
The DS and
mostly it's just DS. Yeah.
I think they were both on the DS.
Yeah. So he has done multiple Blue Dragon games, and the ones on the DS are definitely not talked about enough.
They are different.
I've not played them.
They use your stylus, and I think you have to like send like, okay, you guys go over there and fight them for me. Mm-hmm. It's like it's a little management almost.
Yeah, so you have like the management version, and then you have like the tactical game that came out as well. So I think Blue Dragon as a whole isn't like, I feel like the Xbox 360 version is talked about a little bit more than the DS games, but that's the one I would love to see like get a new, updated version for PS5 and PC and whatnot. So I think Blue Dragon is just a fun game, and I don't know if you guys ever played it before.
I am sadly not super well versed in the 360 library. It's funny, if I had known that was the direction things were going to go, that Hironobu Sakaguchi would be making games for the Xbox 360 before I made my purchase, I might have not got the PS3, because honestly, there were not PS3 games that I wanted truly until several years into the console's life. I got it because I made the same assumption that I wrongly made when I went from Super Nintendo to N64, that Nintendo, that's the JRPG home, baby. Ain't nothing going to change that ever.
Yeah,
can't get off this ride we're on right now. This is what we're doing. This is where it's at.
Yeah. No. And the 360 did get some JRPGs that were, multiple systems, like Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, they did get a version of that.
That's actually where I played it.
Yeah,
that's Tales of Vesperia, the original Tales of
Vesperia too
was exclusive
at the time
until the remaster. Mm-hmm. So it actually did surprisingly well. They really kind of went to bat for JRPG fans to try to win the Japanese audience in particular. Mm-hmm. They were not successful, and so they washed their hands of it and have never looked back. But there's a lot of cool games on that console that I would like to try.
Yeah.
So to me, they're all
Star
underrated.
Ocean too. They had a Star Ocean game on their Last Hope.
That did make its way to PS3 eventually.
It did make. I feel like there was a lot of the games in that era started on the 360, and then there was like an international version that made its way, because like Eternal Sonata, the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
So like I think that's what initially sold me on getting the 360. When I heard about Mistwalker, because at the time I didn't buy the PS3 because it was way too expensive.
Was it? Yeah, it was like $600.
It was like $600, and I was like, I can't. As a college student, like,
2008 money.
Yeah, the equivalent today would be a lot more.
Yeah,
exactly. Like I was just fresh into college, and I was like, I
ignored it.
Pay $600 for a system. You can get a 360 pretty cheap. And so that's what
you might run into the right ring of death. Like
I did.
My brother and I did, but
I did. I absolutely did. I had to buy it down the line because it died. It died. But yeah, Blue Dragon. Check it out. You can. I guess you have to have an Xbox. It's not
maybe
playable
the
on
Project
PC yet.
Helix thing will make it more accessible. Hopefully.
I'm hoping like they'll be able to port that to.
But I don't know.
PCs.
I remember when they announced their exclusive handheld, that was just a ROG Ally. They're like, oh, maybe we could play that library on there, but no. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Branden.
My next one, the box is going to show the wrong title, but it is in there. It is Mary Skelter Nightmares. I'm holding up Mary Skelter 2 because Mary Skelter Nightmares is included in the Switch version, at least. I'm not positive.
Is it in the reversible
the
cover art or no? Maybe you could just turn that
the inside
sucker
is
around.
Just a nice little collage of all the characters. But so Mary Skelter Nightmares is, I think I had to put in a code. I think otherwise you have to beat Mary Skelter 2 to unlock it. But there is a very easy to look up code that will open it from the beginning. So if you would rather play them chronologically, which makes more sense to me.
I'm just surprised that it wasn't patched in as an option.
Yeah.
Strange, right? Strange.
A little strange.
That's odd.
Yeah, so this is an Idea Factory game, which I think for a lot of people is an immediate like, no thanks, opt out.
Not just Idea Factory, right? Isn't it? Is
it Compile Hard as well?
I believe so.
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
also the double no.
So that's so you get the extra. That's the double whammy of, this is probably not going to be good
in our genre.
Yeah, in our genre.
Though they're fans. There are fans. That's why they keep making them. But
of course,
in the general sphere,
but in the general sphere, they're just not viewed as the highest quality games. No. Tend to be fan servicey in creepy ways, and it's not
doesn't appeal to the Western market often.
Yeah, and they're not very well respected, at least over in the West.
No,
I would say that Mary Skelter is a weird exception to that rule, and it's very interesting and cool, and has a pretty interesting story as well. And it's another dungeon crawler. I just realized I picked 2 of the 3 games I picked were dungeon crawlers. And that was not my intention.
Dungeon crawlers
I didn't know you loved them.
They tend to be underrated. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
I mean, it turns out I always thought I didn't like dungeon crawlers. I think the problem that I had was that I didn't like dungeon crawlers that didn't have good stories. If I wasn't compelled by the plot, I'm just not
usually
motivated
character
by,
driven.
Yeah.
And that you create your own characters.
You create your own character. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So in Mary Skelter, you are actually in the first game, you're a boy named, I think his name's Jack. It's been a couple of years.
Okay.
And you and a bunch of girls that are named after fairy tale princesses are stuck in this thing called the jail, which is like, it's not clear from the first game right away what's going on, but like Tokyo has turned into this evil prison full of monsters that are keeping everybody and sucking the life out of them or whatever. Yeah. And the girls all get turned into blood maidens, which means that they have superpowers, and they will occasionally go crazy. They will get bloodlust, and they will turn berserk. And for some reason, their clothes mostly go away. This is where some of that Idea Factory comes in. The traditional stuff. Yeah, the traditional Compile Hearts verve, right, shows its face a little bit. Their clothes mostly disappear, and they just go crazy, and they're attacking friend and foe alike.
Sailor Moon, their clothes disappeared before they became magical girls.
But then they put them back on.
Gotta look at the right lens.
Right,
look at them back on.
Look at it in the cultural context. Eventually, they do put their clothes back on. There is a girl. There is a girl cleaning mechanic in this game that I don't think you can justify.
I don't know if
where you rub the screen.
It's optional though, right? You don't have to
optional.
Do it.
It's optional.
You don't have to do it. It's just like, the VR thing and Trails of into Reverie. You could have done some questionable things there.
You can bypass that if you would rather.
If you didn't get the VR headset, you could bypass that.
I encourage you to rather than do it. Anyway, they'll go crazy, and the only thing that calms them down is Jack's blood for some reason. So
of course,
Jack has basically like a super soaker hooked to an IV, and he can spray his blood on them to calm them down. Now, I know that sounds gross.
Not let this be an euphemism. Yeah,
I know. No, it is. It's very literal, and I know that sounds gross. It's not. They don't show anything, and any blood that does show up on screen is bright pink in that Danganronpa sort of way, which for some reason, at least for me, just completely robs it of its grotesqueness. It's just like, oh, it's
like Splatoon.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just paint. Paint. Deeply weird, right? Like very strange.
Sure.
And I've barely scraped the surface of what makes this game strange. But the localization was actually quite good. The acting is very good. The gameplay is fun. It's pretty traditional turn-based, right? You're not going to be necessarily blown away by just the basics of combat, but you have the added wrinkle of, as the girls fight, they get splattered with monster blood, which revs them up and puts them into an elevated state. And it's kind of like this teetering balancing act where you as Jack, you're not only controlling the girls, you're controlling Jack, and you need to moderate their transformation so that they power up and get stronger, but don't go too far into things called blood Skelter mode, where they lose their clothes and become maniacs and kill everything that moves.
That reminds me of another Compile Hearts game I have on my shelf. Dragon
Star Varnir,
Star Varnir, that one.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Because that has to do with blood and quelling the witch bloodlust or something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're related to blood guys.
It's a well they go back to. Yeah.
I don't understand.
It is a well that they return to from time to time.
I think it's interesting, though. Like it's basically like an insanity sort of meter. You're trying to quell insanity while they're fighting.
Yeah. So I it would never. I don't know why I even decided to give it a try. I must have just been in a silly mood one day, just feeling a little silly. Just going to put in a random game that looks absolutely insane, and I was just very pleasantly surprised and put quite a few hours into. I've only played the first one. Have not started 2 or 3 yet, but I would like to, and that's a testament to I think it being pretty darn good.
Yeah, sounds interesting. I've never played them, so
if you want to try something different, and it has the dungeon crawler sort of lens, right? But with an interesting narrative.
I might have to borrow it one day.
Right? Yeah,
one day. That day's not today, though.
Well, no, because you're at home and I'm over here. So
exactly, I just can't. It's just physically impossible right now.
Perfect. I guess I'll get to the next one. I think I've talked about this on the podcast over a year ago, so I thought it was time to bring it up again. And that is Lost Dimension. I have the Vita version here, but there's also one for the PS3, which I never played. This is an Atlas published game. I want to say Atlas created game too, but I do feel like it still kind of falls under the radar. Mostly because it's not SMT or Persona.
Yeah,
I guess that's true.
I mean, there was a time when Atlas published. There was a time when Atlas published a lot of like niche games.
That's true.
And you don't see it as much anymore, but they had some really interesting ones.
They really did. I kind of miss those days. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. But this is an interesting kind of twist on a sci-fi sort of tower climber where you are this group of people basically trying to save the world. And in order to do that, you have to basically climb this tower because this madman's up there and trying to destroy the world. But the interesting element is that you have a traitor among your ranks, and it's randomized for every single game. So you can't like look up a solution like who's the baddie here. And so you have to work on your connection skills and suss out like who is the traitor, and you have to choose every single level you ascend in this tower. You have to basically kill them off. Be like, we think you're the traitor. So it's like the Game of Wolf or the Gnoja sort of visual novel that's become more popular because I think the anime has just started, which is cool.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see that sort of idea.
The Traitors starring Alan Cumming, which is like
there you go.
my new favorite show for whatever reason. I don't know what happened.
I love
that show. Yeah. But yeah, it is basically the Traitors or werewolf or mafia in JRPG form. That's very cool.
Yeah, fun, I thought that was kind of refreshing. And it's also has real-time kind of strategy elements. So it's a little bit like Valkyria Chronicles. So that was neat to see, but sci-fi and not World War II. So a cool mix. The characters I thought were compelling and interesting, and I always was a little tense, like, okay, who do I kill this time? One of the I guess downsides is I think to get the true ending you have to basically play it twice, which is not my favorite. But you can always look up, if you don't want to do it again, look up the solution on YouTube.
Yeah,
I guess that's true.
But overall, I thought the music was good, and yeah, I feel like it's perfect for those who like that VN/strategy/ combat sort of intersection there. Shall we do our next round around?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so for my next one, I'm going to go to the PS2. I feel like I'm taking a more retro spin on this one, so I'll continue that.
I've been
Go for it.
semi-retro.
Semi-retro. Yeah, I guess that's true. You're handheld retro.
Well, this is also a PS3 game, but yes.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
So that's equivalent to your 360 one. Anyways.
Fine, Emily.
I'm sorry.
There are other ways in which you are wrong, Dallah.
I have to speak up.
Let me list the ways of how wrong you are. Hold up. I'm not done. Let me keep going.
1 second. Oh, man.
That was good. I loved it.
Sorry, go ahead. Go on.
I had to speak up. I'm sorry.
Anyways, I feel I've talked about this a little like a while ago now. But it's a game that I really enjoy. It's a series I think deserves way more love, and that is the Arc the Lad series. Specifically, I want to talk about the PS2 one, which was the Twilight of Spirits. There are two on the PS2. The first one was the Twilight of Spirits, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of the second one, but it wasn't good. So
yeah put it out of your mind.
That's the one I see in my semi-local game store that doesn't have like anything except like shovelware and that other Arc the Lad
that
game.
one. Well, granted, Twilight of Spirits is not a very expensive game. You can get it between like 20 to 30 bucks. Like 30 bucks.
That's why it's still there.
Yeah, but not high demand. But yeah, Twilight of Spirits.
Twilight of Spirits, a great Arc the Lad game. I don't know if anyone's ever played the original Working Designs trilogy
Played
on
the first
the PS1.
Yeah.
So this one takes place 1,000 years after them.
It's a long time.
It's a long time, and it takes place kind of in a world. It kind of reminds me of The Alliance Alive, I think, where it's like it's a world between humans and like these beast-like characters, and there's like a very deep prejudice amongst those two types of like humanoid type things. So there's a lot of like that situation, and then you're dealing with these twin kind of like. They're like brothers-esque, and you get to choose, like at the beginning of the game, you get to choose who you want to start with. And so you play from different perspectives, and they're happening in tandem, and they're slowly kind of combining or basically the story is starting to like pull in from their perspectives what's happening. So you get this really cool, really amazing story, like down to the bat. Like if you enjoy like, that PS2 era, like art style, it's got that very much like the art style that you're to expect from PS2 era. The battle system though is very Trails reminiscent, because it is tactical, but it's also turn based. So the tactical aspect of that is every character has a positioning, a way they can position on the field. It kind of reminds me of older Trails, kind of like where their attacks would be kind of like specific types of like
a region
sizes and regions and things like that. So, but this one does a little bit more like specifics in like regional and like has like a lot more different styles, but you're positioning your characters on this like plane and you can only move so far. You can do certain things and some of your attacks won't, hit as far or only hits in certain directions. So it's very much a tactical game from a positioning perspective. But then once you position yourself, it is basically just turn-based. Like you're going through the motions of a turn-based game. And honestly, yeah, like it's such a fun game. It doesn't get enough love, and I feel like I would love to see the Arc the Lad game like series come back in some sort of fashion, and even see.
I would love a remaster. Like,
I
have heard of them. I just don't know too much about how they play.
Yeah,
it's interesting how the PS2 one does.
They've always been tactical. I think the PS1 versions were very straight up, like more or less just like a tactical game. Yeah. Where this one kind of blends it a little bit more, but it's just a lot of fun. It's got a great story, great characters, great battle system. It did everything right, but it just did not get that much love at the time. Not that many people bought it, because it's like, I guess not many people played the Arc the Lad collection on the PS1 because it's a late stage.
It was a late game. That's the thing. I think Japan had a whole console generation to fall in love with Arc the Lad as a series. Mm-hmm. And I remember really wanting Arc the Lad when I saw it in a magazine. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I can't wait till it comes out. It didn't, right? For years.
No, yeah.
Until like the PS2 was out. Was it out already when Arc the Lad Collection came out? Or it was very close, if not.
So, yeah.
And then we got all 3 games dropped on us at once. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't have that time to establish that, like,
at least they gave you all 3 games.
At least we got all 3.
One and then nope, no more.
It's a great collection. If you like the Lunar,
if you
remember the Lunar like boxes and has all those
similar
little, like things.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very cheap game. I mean, granted, you have to have a PS2 to play it, so there's really no easy way to play this game right now. But that's why we need kind of like there to be some sort of situation where we can get this one day ported or remastered on the PS5 or whatever system we end up with at the time. But yeah, I feel like Arc the Lad just needs way more love, specifically the PS2 one.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I would like more tactical games out there.
Yeah.
Be into that.
And I like games that let you choose your character in the beginning and gives you like different perspectives. I like that aspect of storytelling. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that games can do that other media really can't as easily.
Yeah.
My last selection is a game called The Longest 5 Minutes. This is one that I had always kind of been on my radar because of the cover, and that seems shallow, and it is. But it's such an interesting, I don't know, it's a very evocative picture, and it feels nostalgic, and it feels dramatic, and the title is unique, right? Like most games have some kind of title that emphasizes what the game, like a fantasy story type thing, right? Or something science fiction-y. This is The Longest 5 Minutes. What does that mean? So already there's questions about what is this thing even going to be? You can tell it's probably like an old school 8-ish bit pixel art type game, which it is. But the unique aspect of this, and this is from NIS NIS, published by NIS America. Yeah, but it was a Nipponichi Software game, I believe. Yeah. So it was one of their own. And the premise is basically you are a party of heroes, JRPG party of heroes, and the game opens up at the last battle. So you're in the final fight with the big old Demon King, and he casts a spell on the main character, which causes the main character to lose his memory right there in the last fight. And so the game is a series of sequences where you will flash back and forth between the present fighting with the Demon King and a flashback where his party members are helping him remember what happened, essentially. So it does this really unique flashing back and forth thing. And so the game's story is told out of chronological order, because you'll remember things that don't necessarily, like the first thing you remember isn't the first thing that happens, right? and so on. Like it's just kind of all around the timeline. You're getting these memories as you play. And there are some things you can do, some choices you can make that affect the outcome, affect what eventually does happen in the end game, the actual like final battle with the Demon King or whatever. But it's such a unique and cool way of telling a story. The music, my God, I bought the soundtrack. I went online and purchased it with American currency because I was like, this is good. It's very good. Some of it feels like a composer getting his or her hands on a just very crazy synth and just like having a blast with it, just having so much fun with it. And I'm very here for that. Yeah,
I like it.
So yeah, so the story is really cool. The characters are it's very moving. I was like, why am I sitting here feeling like emotional about these tiny little bitty characters in this game that's maybe a dozen hours long? It's not, it might even, is it like 10 to 12 hours? I actually finished it in a day. So I came down here into my basement one morning and didn't leave until like late that night when I had finished it. It's not that, there's not that many games even of that length where I will do that. And this kept me like glued to the chair for basically that whole time.
Wow.
I will say it's extremely easy. You will not, I don't know if there's difficulty options. It's not challenging though. The idea too is that each new scenario that you play, you kind of get reset to whatever level you should be at for that part of the story. So any leveling or progression that you do within one sequence of events isn't going to carry over. So it doesn't really incentivize you to grind or go hunting for treasure because you'll only get to use it for a little short amount of time. But those kind of negatives out of the way, it's just really such a cool, I love that Nipponichi at least used to do stuff like this. I don't know that they've done it in quite a while. Like they had some out of left field things that they would do, like the Liar Princess and the Blind Prince was one where they just kind of
Disgaea
outside of their main stuff. But they would just let their developer, this is something I really respect, at least respected about them. I don't know if they still do it, was they would give their team time to like work on weird crap, that is not, that's outside of their normal stuff. And they would kind of have little internal competitions, I think, where they would decide, you know what, this team's little side project is the coolest. We're going to make that fully. And cool. I can imagine that this was probably one of those type of things too, right? It's not part of their main series. So highly recommend. Very cool.
That's cool.
That's cool. Whenever I look at the title of that, I always think of that one game. I'm blanking on the title.
30-second Hero or Half-Minute Hero.
That one is that the one where you can only you're the hero, you can only fight for so long before it's game over. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. That one's like a series of really short hyper speed run JRPG challenges. Yeah. Yeah. And I think I'd even maybe said that in my review because I also had that thought where I would constantly get that game mixed up with this other one.
Same.
Turns out they're different, but
they are stylistically they're very different.
Very
Yeah. Is it Strange the new game is Strange Overload or Lord? Is that
Strange Overlord, yeah.
Entrange, yeah. My brain just sees a strange for some reason.
Yeah. Well, that's I think what most people read it as.
Yeah.
But
Etranged Overlord. Is that Nipponichi as well?
I believe so.
Okay.
I mean, NIS America is publishing it, and it definitely looks Disgaea-ish.
I believe it's them.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's good.
That one's very mixed, though. I haven't played it myself.
Okay.
Yeah. I hear the story's interesting, but it's not like a traditional JRPG.
It's like an action RPG, right? Like something like that. I looked at videos of it.
I think it's action.
Yeah,
I think it's action.
Yeah, but it's definitely interesting that at least doing something different than Disgaea.
Yes, it must be like the PSP era and the DS era. We get so many weird little JRPGs. Yeah. I miss that. I miss those times. I guess now we have the ND side of things, but that's also difficult to. I feel like for those games to gain traction, especially if they have a weird idea.
Yeah. That's why I get
even if they try to go through like Kickstarter and stuff, and people are just so hesitant to help fund those now because so many have just not worked out.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot. That's where we get like a lot of underrated games within the indie space because there's just so many that come out that just
and you just hear talks of like one or two that are really popular, right? Like Chained Echoes, or Sea of Stars. People in this space have heard of those.
Yeah,
there's other ones that definitely get overlooked.
Yeah, because it's all about marketing, whether they were able to get out there to the right people.
A lot of that has to do with funding.
And funding.
It's mostly funding at the end of the day for them to do marketing.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of games in the indie space that we don't even know about. So.
Maybe even like the Steam page, only like 10 people downloaded it. But you don't know how good it is. You know, it's hard. It's hard.
It is hard. It's hard out there.
I want to bring up one indie game, though. If we wanted to.
Let's do it.
To get our number 9. This one, whenever I talk about it, people are like, it's not a JRPG because it wasn't made in Japan. Okay. Also, it's not like turn-based or something.
Let's get to it.
Let's talk about it anyway. This is a cyberpunk game. It's Anno Mutationem, I want to say is how you say that. I still don't know if I'm saying that title right.
Okay.
That's how I would say it. It has a very interesting like story that is like the combat wise, it is an RPG because you have to, build up your weapons and your stats and things like that. So I think it is an RPG. Despite people saying, oh, it's a side scroller, you are hitting them. It's like an action side scroller. It's more than that. It's more than that. And story wise, I feel like it does progress like a JRPG where you do have your side quests that are optional. But for the most part, you're trying to basically this girl is trying to rescue her sister and save the world too. And there's other things that unfold along the way that take some unexpected turn. So I don't want to speak too much on the story, but it does have a nice kind of twisted plot that I felt very immersed in, and I wanted to learn more. And I thought how they had it all unfold was interesting.
Yeah.
But I love the pixel art. I like the vibe. I like cyberpunk kind of stuff.
It's visually just one of the most like stunning, interesting visual styles.
Especially when you're exploring like the towns, like it's not just 2D, it's like 2.5D. And
it switches where you can run into the background and it's a 3D environment, it's really cool. But you're still 2D sprites. And I can attest.
Design's great.
Having also played it. Is this the only game that? No, there's been more than one game that more than
Lightning
two of us
games.
have played.
I don't know. Oh, for all the
for all
games
of us,
today.
yeah,
correct.
The usage of lighting in this game.
It is very
Isn't
cool.
it cool?
Yeah.
And the color
really cool.
saturations too. It's just, I think they're working on a sequel. Don't take my word for that.
I hope so. I've like they set it up. They set it up for one.
And why I'm bringing it up today is because I don't think enough people recognize that it's a JRPG and they are missing out. I think it was kind of a hit among people who like indie games that got physical releases because it was a limited run game initially.
Right.
You could get the physical. I think now it's retail. But I do think it's not really acknowledged as a JRPG when it very much evokes a JRPG.
I think so. It's a JRPG in the same way that you can say Castlevania Symphony of the Night is, right? It's like, it's basically has all of the trappings.
It has the mechanics.
Of a JRPG mechanically and story-wise, and it has action platforming as a vehicle to deliver that to you.
Yeah. And this has less platforming, I would say.
Yeah, but just like jumping around and fighting 2D.
This looks really good.
It's excellent. That's another one that I basically that's another game where I basically sat down in my basement over the course of one very long day.
Oh, I was stuck on this one too. I was the same. I was hooked.
Yeah.
There were a couple instances that I got a little stuck, but after some perseverance, I got unstuck.
Yeah.
It's on sale on Steam. Maybe.
What?
Well,
I might have to dip into
At least as of this recording. We're sorry, everyone, if it's not by the time you hear this.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It's very situational.
I don't know how long the
spring sale again one day.
For.
It will be.
If it's been on sale once, it'll be on sale again.
It's probably been on sale
Steam.
4 times this year already, and it's only March.
Probably.
We're recording this. So
don't worry.
Probably.
April 1st, I guess, when this comes out. But
yeah. I think that's a good list of underrated, underappreciated games. Do you have any more like honorable mentions that you guys want to mention?
I think we should round this list off to 10.
We should.
We've done 9.
We can.
What should we have our general consensus be 10?
consensus
that we haven't
game.
mentioned as like a side thing.
Let's see.
Man, something that all three of us have played, though. That's a tricky
I wonder.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard
I think
one.
I probably shouldn't have already said Alliance Alive. I think we all three played this. That would have been perfect.
That'd been a good one. Yep. I mean,
Yes.
Harvestella, play Harvestella.
Radiant Historia.
No, we're not playing
Harvestella.
All of these could be.
Play Trails. Trails used to be niche. It kind of is.
Please play Trails.
Please Trails.
For the love of God, please play it.
I mean, I don't. Is Live Alive niche enough? Like,
It's
obviously,
Square Enix, but it is. Yeah, I don't know.
A big HD 2D release, but it kind of was like a flash in the pan, right? It was.
Hey, I see that on the top 25 JRPG list all the time.
Oh, do you? Okay.
That is true.
I do.
Okay.
That is
So
very true.
So then,
I
don't
choose,
know.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, guys.
I'll say Bravely Second. Anybody play Bravely Second?
I did not play Bravely Second. I feel like that's underappreciated from what I hear.
Is it? I have it, but I've never played it. I don't know how good it is.
How about the? Have you guys played the? Square Enix has their Japan studios that does like the other stuff.
Oh,
their Tokyo RPG Factory.
Yeah, Tokyo RPGs. Something.
Yeah, so you could say like I Am Setsuna is one from them.
I feel like they're kind of known, but not really. I think people have heard of them, but they've maybe not played them. Like myself.
Yeah, and the only one I've played is I Am Setsuna, and that's probably the one that's had the most exposure of their lineup.
In Lost Sphere, mostly in the physical realm because it did get an English physical, but you had to buy it off of the Square Enix store for a limited time, and it was weird how they did their physical release.
Yeah. And then they had that one that was like an action RPG. I think was the last game that they did, but I never played that one. So
I have it. I've not played it. It looks interesting.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. You know what?
It's hard. It's hard to
you all at home or in your car or wherever you are.
We listened to a lot of games today.
Pick your favorite underrated game that should be on this list, and that's our 10th.
What would be number 10?
Yeah, that's our 10th game. Put your 10th game.
So to be fair, we've talked about like 10 other games.
While we've been talking about these 9, we've mentioned like 100 others. But
I know.
Still, give us yours, please, down in the comments.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that'll do it though, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
So.
And thanks to our members for supporting the show. We really appreciate you.
I think the real April Fool's joke is we didn't have a list of 10.
Yeah, there you go.
Gotcha.
Suckers. This top 10 list had 9. Bring that
back. Top 9, but we said 10 in the title.
Yeah. Well,
Deception.
Whoops. Deception.
Deception.
You have been April deceived.
Take that.
Yeah. But if you're a Pursuer or Pursuer Plus member, stick around for the after show, and we will continue to chat. And thanks for watching.
Again, tell us what you think is the most underappreciated JRPG in your library that you've played.
Yes.
Or ones that you've been thinking about playing and you're not sure if they're good.
Put ideas in our heads. I dare you.
Seriously.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.